begin How to Memorize Piano Music with Confidence and Security, number 3, I'd like to encourage you to watch the first 2 videos of this series. We spoke about the different learning styles and how this affects the memorization process of piano music. Each lesson demonstrates a very specific exercise aimed at conquering fears and anxieties when playing from memory. When you confidently and securely know the notes, your mind can then focus on how to play the notes. In other words, your unique musical interpretation can shine through, and your entire level of playing and musicianship will greatly increase. As with the first 2 tutorials, we'll continue our memorization studies using Rondo alla Turca by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. The section we'll focus on in this lesson will be measures 33 through 40. We'll include the 4 pickup notes leading into measure 33 just to get us started. Remember, these exercises are to be applied to the entire piece. Also, the level of your piece, the style, technical pattern, genre, none of this matters. These memorization techniques are invaluable and apply to all piano music. I'm using Mozart's Rondo alla Turca simply as an example. Looking at the music, we'll slowly and methodically play the first measure, measure 33, along with the 4 pickup notes just to get us started, plus 1 note over the bar line. This is looking at the music. Good. Next, play the exact same notes, slowly and methodically, from memory, remembering to play 1 note over the bar line. This is from memory. Moving on to the next measure, measure 34. Play this slowly, looking at the music plus 1 note over the bar line. Always include your phrasing, dynamics, and correct fingering. It's necessary to be clear in your mind about these things because you do not, for example, want to use 2 different fingerings, one for looking at the music and a different fingering from memory. That will confuse your mind and prevent solid memory work. Here we go, measure 34. And over the bar line. Now we'll play the exact same notes slowly and methodically from memory, always adding 1 note over the bar line. Next, it's time to go back and play measures 33 along with the 4-note pickup and 34, slow and from memory. Remember to play 1 note over the bar line. If you make a mistake that shows an insecurity, you'll want to work on the insecure measure before continuing further. From memory, measure 33. Measure 34, over the bar line. Now we continue with measure 35 plus 1 note over the bar line, slow, looking at the music with the correct phrasing, dynamics, and fingering. Looking at the music, measure 35. And then measure number 35 plus 1 note from memory. Keep it slow, don't let yourself get faster. Measure 35 from memory. Next, go back to the 4-note pickup to measure 33. Play slow and from memory to measure 35, always going 1 note over the bar line. Keep it slow. Here's the pickup. You probably see the pattern. Play 1 measure plus 1 note over the bar line slow, looking at the music. Then, play the same measure slow from memory. At the completion of each measure, go back to the beginning of the section and play slow from memory to the same measure where you had just left off. Continue to add 1 measure at a time. In other words, you'll next play measure 36 plus 1 note over the bar line, first looking at the music and, as always, concentrating on the notes. Measure 36. And then measure 36 from memory. Here we go, from memory. After that, play from the beginning of the section through measure 36 plus 1 note from memory. Remember, if you make a mistake, you'll want to go back and repeat the exercise where the mistake occurred. Here's the pickup to 33. Continue with this technique until you've completed the entire section and you apply this exercise to the entire piece that you want to memorize securely and confidently. You've done some great practice. You have just learned an incredibly effective method of practice to memorize piano music securely and confidently. In the next and final memorization tutorial, I'll address one more very essential issue pertaining to the memorization process. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you receive the very latest teaching, playing, and performance videos.